We continue reading from the Nectar of Devotion. We have a chapter entitled Symptoms of Continuous Ecstasy. This is subordinate ecstatic love. The devotees who always think of Krishna as a superior and in subordinate ecstasy. The devotees who always think of Krishna as a superior are in subordinate ecstatic love. To such a devotee, the concept of inferiority of the Lord is very prominent, and he rarely takes interest in any other kind of transcendental loving humor of the Lord. In the Mukunda Mala Stota, compiled by King Kulakshana, one of the prayers says, "My dear Lord, you are the deliverer of living entities." My dear Lord, you are the deliverer of living entities from the hellish condition of materialistic life, but that does not matter to me. Whether I am elevated to the heavenly platform or remain on this earthly planet, or am dispatched to some hellish planet, that doesn't matter at all to me. My only prayer is that at the time of my death, I may simply remember your two beautiful feet, which are just like lotus flowers, fructifying during the autumn season. Friendship. As far as friendship is concerned, those great devotees who are almost like Krishna are considered to be great authorities in a modes of friendly relations with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On that friendly platform, there are different kinds of laughing and joking conversations. And an example of such a friendly relationship with Krishna is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna was once thinking, "Today, while I was engaged in tending the cows in the pasturing ground of Vrindavan, I went to collect some flowers in a beautiful garden. And that time my friends, the cowherd boys, were unhappy even to tolerate a 2-minute separation from me. And when they found me, there was a competition between us as to who would touch the other first with the flowers we had in hand. One friend criticized Krishna thus, 'My dear Damodar, although you have been defeated by Sridham and have become sufficiently minimized in strength, by a false expression of strength, you have somehow covered your smirful condition of defeat.'" Shameful condition of defeat. Nectar Doshan ki jai. Shri Rupa Goswami ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 8, entitled The Churning of the Milk Ocean. And today we'll read text 22 up to text 24. No, up to text 25. So I'm going to read the first verses and then we can do together text 22, so 25. Kvachit chirayu nahi shira mangalam, kvachit tadapi asina vejam ayusha, yatro vejam kutra chaso api amangala, sumangala kshachana kangshat himam. Some may have longevity but not have auspiciousness or good behavior. Someone may have both auspiciousness and good behavior, but the duration of his life is not fixed. Although such demigods as Lord Shiva have eternal life, they have inauspicious habits like living in crematoriums, and even in others, and even if others are well qualified in all respects, they are not devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Evam vimrasya vyabhichari satgunai varam nijai kashrayat yagunashrayam vavrevaram sarvagunai apekshitam rama mukundam nirapekshami pasitam. Shukadeva Goswami continue. In this way, after full deliberation, the goddess of fortune accepted Mukunda as her husband, because although he is independent and not in want of her, he possesses all transcendental qualities and mystic powers, and is therefore the most desirable. Purport. The Supreme Person of Godhead, Mukunda, is self-sufficient. Since he is fully independent, he was not in want of support or association of Lakshmi Devi. Nonetheless, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, accepted him as her husband. Chasyam Shadesha Ushatim Navakanjamalam Madhyam Madhuvrata Varuta Gir. No, I think it's different. Tasyam Shadesha Usatam Navakanjamalam Madhyam Madhurvrata Varuta Giropakushnam Tasto Nija Nikate Tad Urasvadama Savrita Savikasma Nayane Nayata. Approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the goddess of fortune placed upon his shoulders the garland of newly grown lotus flowers, which was surrounded by humming bumblebees searching for honey. Then, expecting to get a place on the bosom of the Lord, she remained standing by his side, her face smiling in shyness. So text 25. Tasya Shriyas Tri Jagato Janako Jananya Tasya Shriyas Tri Jagato Janako Jananya Vaksho Nivasam Akarot Paramam Vibhute Vaksho Nivasam Akaroto Paramam Vibhute Shri Swaha Praja Sakarunena Nirikshanena Shri Swaha Praja Sakurane Nirikshanena Yatra Shtitai Dayata Sadipatims Trilokan Yatra Shtitai Dayata Sadipatimas Trilokan Tasya Shriyastri Jakato Janako Janaya Vaksho Nivasam Akarot Paramam Vibhute Shri Swaha Praja Sakarunena Nirikshanena Yatra Shitai Dayatata Sadipati Mastilokan Tasya Shriyastri Jakato Janako Janaya Vaksho Nivasam Akarot Paramam Vibhute Shri Swaha Praja Sakarunena Nirikshanena Yatra Shtita Idayata Sadipatim Strilokan. Please chant. Tasya Shriyastri Jagato Janako Janaya Bhaksho Nivasam Akarot Paramam Vibhute Shri Swaha Praja Sakurunena Drikshanena Yatra Shtita Idayata Sadipatim Strilokan. Tasya Shriyasti Jagato Jananya Vaksham Nivasa Karato Paramam Vibhute Shri Sva Praja Sakurane Nirikshanena Yatra Sthita Idayata Sadipatim Strilokan. Vaksho Nivasamakaro Paramam Vibhute Sakaroto Paramam Vibhute Shri Swa Praja Sakarunena Niriksanena Shri Swa Praja Sakarunena Niriksanena Yatra Stitai Dayata Sadipatim Strilokan Yatra Stidayata Sadipatim Strilokan. Tasya of her, Shriya, the goddess of fortune, Tri Jagata, of the three worlds, Janaka, the father, Jananya, of the mother, Vakshaha, bosom, Nivasam, residence, Akarot, maid, Paramam, supreme, Vibhute, of the opulent, Shri, the goddess of fortune, Swaha, own, Praja, descendants, Sakarunena, with favorable mercy, Nirikshanena, by glancing over, Yatra, wherein, Sthita, staying, Ayata, increased, Adipatin, with the great directors and leaders, Trilokan, the three worlds. Translation and Prabhupada is doing, guys. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Father of the three worlds, and his bosom is the residence of Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the proprietor of all opulence. The goddess of fortune, by her favorable and merciful glance, can increase the opulence of the three worlds, along with their inhabitants and their directors, the demigods. Purport. According to the desire of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, the Supreme Person of Godhead made his bosom her residence, so that by her glance she could favor everyone, including the demigods and ordinary human beings. In other words, since the goddess of fortune stays on the bosom of Narayan, she naturally sees any devotee who worships Narayan. When the goddess of fortune understands that the devotee is in favor of devotional service to Narayan, she is naturally inclined to bless the devotee with all opulence. The karmis try to receive the favor and mercy of Lakshmi, but because they are not devotees of Narayan, their opulence is flickering. The opulence of devotees who are attached to the service of Narayan is not like the opulence of karmis. The opulence of devotees is as permanent as the opulence of Narayan himself. Om Jnanantimirandasya Nanjana Sharakaya Chakshuruminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapita Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kanamayam Dadakti Smam Padantikam Manchakalpatrubhashya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Pashtatate Shadharine. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So in these verses and previous verses, Mother Lakshmi Devi, she's been going from person to person and scrutinizing each person and kind of seeing the true situation of these personalities. And as it was described before, that these are the demigods. So these are the directors of the universe, and so they're the highest personalities, the most intelligent, the most of the opulence and knowledge and understanding and capabilities. But still, when Mother Lakshmi was going from one person to one other person, she saw all these shortcomings. Even though there's a lot of good qualities, she also saw the shortcomings. And so this is, and she also in the verses explain in the 25 that even though so yeah, even though these might be great personalities, some of them are not actually the devotees of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And so this is the hint, right? So because when someone tries to attain wealth and opulence without pleasing Lord Krishna, then naturally the Lakshmi, the opulence is going to be very flickering. It's going to come and it's going to go. The same way here, like Lakshmi Devi is just going from one person to other person. She's not staying permanently. So the same way we were trying to obtain material opulence without actually being a devotee of Lord Krishna, then this opulence is going to be going back and forth all the time. It's not going to be stable. Whereas if you have a Krishna, or you have a Lord Narayan, then Lakshmi Devi is stable, right? So she's always residing at the bosom of Lord Narayan. And it says here that so once who worship Narayan, then Mother Lakshmi also sees these devotees, and naturally she's very inclined to give all the blessings, giving all the whatever the opulence is needed, or whatever the devotee wants. But if I understand correctly, is that one who worships Krishna actually, and when Krishna shows his special mercy to devotees, then he's actually taking away all the opulence and all the wealth. So as I correctly maybe understand is that that's why Prabhupada says, who worship Narayan, right? Because Krishna has a bit different mood. He takes away actually this wealth and opulence for devotees who are surrendered, in order to increase that attraction. So it's a special mercy of Krishna that naturally the devotee gets bereft of all the opulence and all these material connections that we have, and it might seem like maybe like a contradictory kind of thing, or maybe something undesirable. For example, if someone who's like starting spiritual practice, because naturally we want to be happy, we have a stable life, financially stable, but when we approach Krishna, then he's been in different mode than Lord Narayana, and he might as well just take away everything, because he wants full surrender, full attention from us. So yeah, so in a similar way, when we go on the street with these books, it's important that we can do some Lakshmi collection, like we can do a lot of donations, but if you don't introduce spiritual knowledge, Transcendental literature, which is the manifestation of Krishna, then naturally it would be very hard to just obtain just Lakshmi as it is without actually introducing these books. So whenever there's the presence of Supreme Person Godhead, then natural Lakshmi is also going to be there. And we are in this consciousness, we are in this right consciousness of God consciousness, then naturally also all the wealth is also going to come. But as we progress, then as we surrender more, then Krishna might as well take us away. It depends. Krishna also can bestow all these opulence if he can see a devotee can handle these things, or he has a specific qualities that he can deal with with money and all these material things. We can kind of trust the seeds that actually he can use it for a right purpose. But yeah, for someone who comes like a new, maybe something like, because oftentimes, so I heard this lecture by Keshav Maharaj, and he was giving this this sort of like a comparison, right? So, if you maybe you go maybe to a church, and then you go in front of the church and you say, I prayed to the God, and God gave me a nice family, and then they gave me the God gave me a nice car, and then God gave me a nice house, right? Whereas if you compare maybe to a situation in maybe Krishna consciousness, then a person might be saying, and then Krishna took away my house, and then Krishna took away my car, and then I lost my family, and then so Krishna wants us fully undivided attention. And when we have that single pointed attention, then Krishna is indebted to give himself as well. So he's always allows him to be purchased. And then when that happens, then Krishna fulfills all desires, right? Because he understands he can trust us. So that trust is very important there. God loves us. We may love God, but he might not completely trust us. By just giving himself completely. So yeah, Prabhupada also says that the karmis who try to receive the mercy of Lord Lakshmi, it's very flickering. So it's not, although we want to be the controllers and have a lot of opponents, it's as long as there's no presence of Lord Krishna, then it's going to be flickering. So any questions or reflections so far?
Yeah, thank you, Guru. I was reflecting on what Kunti Maharani says. She says Krishna is the property of the materially impoverished, right? But as you know, we were speaking the other day, like some devotees are very opulent as well, right? You know, is Krishna stole their property? So, do you have any insights into the meaning of materially impoverished? You know the word impoverished, right? Because surely it, you know, we have so many devotees that are very dear to Krishna, and they're not like, you know, beggars on the street.
Yes. Yeah. So Krishna might take away, or it can give, but the real surrender is when the devotee has given this mentality of enjoyment and proprietorship. Said, well, this I have nice clothes, nice car, so I can enjoy. But he has this mindset of renunciation. To understand, well, whatever Krishna gives or whatever takes away, I'm just going to use it for his service. So yeah. But yeah, so I think it's also there's also a verse by Kunti Devi. She says that actually this material opulence, one who is kind of like an obstacle for someone to nicely, chant the holy name of Krishna, right? So even though someone might be renounced, it's still a kind of, it can be an obstacle there, because material world is, especially Maya, is very, very, very dangerous. You know, somehow or other, you know, might be managing all these things, but when you have these opponents, it kind of might can turn things around if you're not careful. So yeah, when Kunti Devi says that anyone who is bereft of all these opponents, then he can actually like chant with the she was saying with the feeling that the holy name of Krishna. But yeah, so everyone has their own situation. It kind of like yeah, actually someone has more maybe these material things, money, especially in the Krishna consciousness. So Krishna kind of like, he sees that, well, okay, I can trust this person with these things, but you have to be careful. So have to be careful. Yeah.
So it seems that the more detached we are from material things, the more facilities Krishna will give us as well.
Yeah. As more we lose this idea of proprietorship. So, yeah. Yes, Ruud.
It explains in the Madhurya Kanamani that there's the final stage of unsteady devotional service is that the devotee delights in the facilities, material facilities. That comes his way. Shishikanitai Maya Shashiki. So in an offering to Srila Prabhupada, Anuttama Prabhu was saying that he sees the challenge now in ISKCON is whether when all the Prabhupada disciples leave, we don't have a mission drift. And that also now ISKCON is starting to gain some prestige. We have much better street cred now than ever before. And so much opulence is going to start coming our way. And then the challenge will be, when we were struggling, we didn't have anything. Then life was simpler. But now that the facility is starting to come, then the devotees could succumb to Taranga Ranjani, which is what happened in Bag Bazaar. They had this beautiful opulent marble temple, and then the whole preaching mission broke up because they all started fighting with each other about who should get which room, you know.
Yeah. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj also saying, like, better to sow this marble and this, print books. What's the use of these nice temples and everything? Yeah. What I think of is also we have this Yukta Vairagya principle, how to engage everything in the right way. But I was thinking also, as we go forward, it's nice to have sort of like this, as maybe new devotees coming in, have this experience when they're going through, like Sankirtan, they have this bit of a struggle, it's kind of good, because it kind of, you get taste of it, and you understand that all this paraphernalia and nice temples are there to just attract more people, but actually, that taste we get on the street when we really, we have a bit of a struggle. But I guess if everything's easy, then we never get to that point where we have to push ourselves. I think it's important as we go on, maybe introduce these things that we have, that maybe new devotees also go through these things. We can someone can take it for granted, and then just take proprietorship and enjoy all these opulence without any hard work. From my own personal experience, when you're younger, it's like you don't really understand why parents are pushing you so much, and especially I remember my dad used to be quite strict, and I was like, when I grow up, and I'm gonna leave, this is too much. But then I started appreciating, actually, because there was a bit of that struggle, and it kind of like, what do you say, like you grew your skin or something like that. You basically get stronger, and there's some sort of like a detachment also comes with that, and you find beauty in more simple things. Something like that.
Yeah, what would be nice is if, as a yatra, we become unified on a goal, and we want facility to be able to preach. But I think if we have that, we're all on the same page. Then Krishna can just send along donators to give whatever it is that we need, because what is the plan? Kodita and Pashashi have come over from San Francisco. What was their plan? What did they see happening in the future? Do they see us staying here? Do they see us going into a purpose-built temple? When you're driving down the M74, you see a brown sign, and it's a tourist attraction, Hare Krishna temple, like they have at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And people can see the temple from the motorway, and they say, let's go and look at that. And they pull off to come up, And every Sunday we're getting 10,000 people visiting, and we have car parks, and so much facility can be there. Krishna can do that very easily, if that's what we want. If we see that that's going to be useful, for bringing people in. I mean, at one time here in Scotland, it was very opulent. We had so many Sankirtan parties going out. We were number one in the world for book distribution, and we had so much facility. There were motorhomes going out with devotees in, and they were all Sankirtan parties were going out. And we were doing 7 days a week, starting at 9 a.m, and there was a lot of preaching going on. And then we were doing Garanga festivals as well. But then the onus is on the leader to unify the whole yatra. That okay, what's the next step? What are we going to do next?
There's a question: if we become Krishna conscious, if we are on the same page, so that's also a challenge. Are we unified together?
It can be a bit misleading here because it looks like there's only a handful of devotees, and then on Sunday, the place is bursting at the seams, especially for this Gaurapanim. It'll be jam-packed, We had to have a system for Govardhan that groups are coming in at a time and then going back out because we couldn't get everybody in at the same time, So we're like the crew on the ship deck, keeping the ship running, and keeping it clean and everything. And then every so often, thousands of people, hundreds of people are coming, and using the facility. And in that way, the yatra is quite big, actually. There's quite a few hundred people out there that are connected to us and are favorable, and are doing regular seva.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I feel like also having especially ones who are more taking part of the yatra, more engaged is also important. Everyone's tries Sankirtan as well. Yeah. Some is very emphasized. It's like you get the feeling of Hare Krishna movement when you go Sankirtan.
Yeah.
Because you have a bit of a struggle, right? When you read the Prabhupada's Vilamrita and watch some old videos, you can see this. It's kind of a more simple. I feel like in the sense of like we didn't have so many things, and now we have it. So now we have a different challenge. Obviously, we have these. So we have to see how can we manage. So basically, we need good leaders, as you say, bro. Yeah, take some time to train and get there. So you have to be patient, determined, and enthusiastic. So
Yeah, we do monthly Sankirtan festivals, then everybody can do something, everybody can involve. Some can be on the book table, some can be in Harinam, some can do book distribution for a little while. Everyone can do something, Oh, the announcement, Bhakta.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And just reading earlier in Canto 6, there's some very nice verses about Lakshmi. So it's from chapter 19 of Canto 6, and verses 11 through to 13. There's some descriptions of Lakshmi which are quite interesting. So maybe I'll just read them and we can sort of see what people think. So in text 11 it says, "My Lord Vishnu, Mother Lakshmi, Goddess of Fortune, you are the proprietors of the entire creation. Indeed, you are the cause of creation. Mother Lakshmi is extremely difficult to understand because she is so powerful that the jurisdiction of her power is difficult to overcome. Mother Lakshmi is represented in the material world as the external energy, but actually she is always the internal energy of the Lord." So that's quite interesting. And then the next verse, "My Lord, you are the master of energy and therefore you are the supreme person. You are sacrifice, yajna, personified. Lakshmi, the embodiment of spiritual activities, is the original form of worship offered unto you, whereas you are the enjoyer of all sacrifices." And the last one, number 13, "Mother Lakshmi, who is here, is the reservoir of all spiritual qualities, whereas you manifest and enjoy all these qualities. Indeed, you are actually the enjoyer of everything. You live as super soul of all living entities, and the Goddess of Fortune is the form of their bodies, senses, and minds. She also has a holy name and form, whereas you are the support of all such names and forms and the cause for their manifestation." I thought that was quite interesting. The descriptions of Lakshmi being the bodies and the minds and the external energy also. Do you have any reflections on that, Prabhu?
Yes, an interesting one. As a yeah, I think it sounds very similar to when you read second canto. There's different. Or you also read third canto when Maitreya Rishi is instructing Vidura, and he's describing these different things when this Virat Rupa is manifested. So the different demigods kind of they occupy different places. So and then it seems that the Mother Lakshmi is also taking part of these things, which I personally wouldn't have much of technical knowledge of these things. Well, as I understand, everything is all these expansions of Srimati Radharani, right? So same as the Maya Devi and Lakshmi Devi, they are expansions of Radharani, and then they doing their own specific, things that they're supposed to be doing there. So I don't think that's as far as I understand it. It's true.
So Parvati is the consort of Shiva. She's the Mahamaya. So she's the Durga. She controls the fortress. She's like the prison warden, you know. And if you get Lakshmi's favor, it's only in accordance with how aligned you are with Narayan. Otherwise, you won't get her favor so easily. Whereas with Durga, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble, you know, because she'll give you whatever you want, but it may not be what you need. So then you can become very implicated. And Kali Yuga is not a good yuga to have good karma in, you know, because it gets very quickly turned into bad karma, unless you really know what you're doing with the facilities that are offered you, you know.
Just whilst we're talking about the favour of Lakshmi Devi, because in the purport Prabhupada is saying that Lakshmi Devi is sitting in the bosom of the Lord, so whoever the Lord's looking at, Lakshmi's also looking and giving the blessings. So the Lord has to be looking at you, and He'll also be giving you His favour, so you can get the favour of Lakshmi. It's not like a one-way street.
And I guess when we turn it back, or the Lord Nine is not looking at us, then there's the shadow part, which is the Maya, right? Maya is also always next to Krishna, but it's like a shadow. Yeah.
And she's not so keen on her job as well. That's why when she came down to Haridas Thakur, she said, everybody else is going back to Godhead. I've got to stay here in the material world. I want to be a devotee as well. So Haridas Thakur gave her a mantra. She became a devotee.
Chai.
Liberation, which is even higher than sense gratification, waits at my door. And I've just been reading in the Brihad Bhagavatam Rita, liberation is very easily achieved for one who chants the holy name, even once in Kali Yuga. And liberation is like beyond all material facilities. It's like the highest opulence you can achieve in the material world, beyond even the heavenly planets, is liberation. And that liberation is insignificant to one who's chanting the holy names. And then also in the Brihad Bhagavatam Rita, it says that if the devotee has some vestige of material desire, Krishna's no poor man, you know. He gave Sudama, Vipra, everything. There's so many cases where devotees went to Krishna and he just gave them all material opulences and let them go and enjoy, go and fulfill your material desires, and then at the end come back to me. So under the auspices of Krishna, then we get the blessing to be able to call Bhoga Sukham. Sanatana Goswami describes it as is that you can enjoy in the material world under the shelter of Krishna. He looks after you. And then when you've given up, when you've finally gone through all those last remnants, then you go back to Godhead. And there's a Prabhupada memory where Prabhupada Anuga was saying, Prabhupada said the problem with a lot of my disciples is they want to go to the heavenly planets. But then after that, he said, but after they've gone to the heavenly planets, then they will go back to Godhead.
It's also some mercy of Krishna. It helps us to get rid of these remnants of these desires that we have left still in the heart. So, yeah.
I was just checking something that was in my mind. Just back onto the Lord, Lakshmi Devi being in the bosom of the chest of the Lord. So in the Vairat Rupa, the chest or the breast of the Lord represents a religion, and the back represents irreligion. I was just kind of like trying to put something together where, you know, for not seeing Lakshmi Devi or we're not at the front, then we're just a religion, the opposite side.
Mahamaya.
Yeah. So Yoga Maya. Mahamaya. I was using Google. I found something from the Bhagavatam.
Google.
Share that thought.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for all your nice points and comments and questions. We'll stop here. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.